Ramana Jaya Jaya Navala Kishore Jaya Gopi Chit Chor Prabhu Jaya Jaya Makhan Chor Jaya Jaya Makhan Chor Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Shri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki उपस्थित भगवत कथा अनुरागी
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. I extend my humble obeisances, warm greetings and heartfelt welcome to the senior devotees of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I also welcome all the devotees who have gathered on the Zoom platform, the platform of YouTube and Facebook. I also extend my warm greetings to all the devotees who are listening and viewing this katha on the English platform. You see, I am filled with pride when I see you all, and that may you should not catch anybody's evil eye. I pray to Lord that should you all remain safe and sound always. And there is also a deep secret behind organizing of this katha by the Patni family. I extend my warm greetings and welcome to the Patni family who are organizing this katha from 3 different countries of the world in the loving memory of late Damji Devji Soni, late Kanji Damji Patni. From London, Naveen Bai and Ranjan Bain, the son and daughter-in-law to late Damji Devji Soni, Ramesh Bai and Murli Bain, son and daughter-in-law to late Damji Devji Soni. From Australia, Arvind Bai and Indira Bain, the son and daughter-in-law to late Kanji Damji Patni. In Nairobi, we have Shobha Bain, who have beautifully organized this katha, who is wife to late Prabhudas Damji Patni. I welcome each one of you to 304th Ram Katha and Bhagvat Katha. I welcome each one of you to the 5th session of this katha. My special heartfelt thanks to Prabhudas Ji Patni, who is before you on your screens. Radhe Shyam. What is the base or foundation to dharma? The establishment of dharma is based on what base or foundation? What is the platform or what is the base on which dharma is established and on what platform or foundation does it flourish and establish itself? Many a times, many a people say that the foundation of dharma, the base to dharma, the basic platform to dharma are temples. If at all there are temples, dharma shall stay intact. If you ask me, it is not such a case, because upon this day, which is 7th of August in 1969, Srila Prabhupada gave his statement from Hawaii.
1969 7th अगस्त को प्रभुपाद हवाई में थे और श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने आज ही के दिन
So from Hawaii on 7th of August in 1969, Srila Prabhupada said,
इस युग में
in this age,
आपको इंग्लिश आती नहीं ना इसलिए मुझे हिंदी बोलना पड़ता
it is important to create devotees than to construct temples.
So इस युग में खास करके इस कलयुग में श्रील प्रभुपाद
In this
आज ही के दिन
age of Kali, Prabhupada goes on to say,
इस वर्तमान समय में मंदिरों की निर्माण करने की अपेक्षा
instead of constructing temples, what is more significant is to create devotees, is to generate more and more devotees. More and more construction of temples should be there. It's good. There's nothing wrong about it. But what is more significant, what is more important is to construct and to create more and more devotees. So understanding the nectar words of Srila Prabhupada, instead of constructing temples, what is more, the need of the hour is to create devotees, to develop devotees, to nurture devotees, more and more devotees. Because always remember, dharma does not stay, dharma does not remain intact only because of temples. Numerous temples were desecrated, demolished, and razed to ground, but dharma stayed only because of the saints and sadhus who preached it, only because of the principles of the dharma. When Srila Prabhupada was laying foundation to Iskcon, when somebody asked a question to Srila Prabhupada that India is so full of temples, then why do you want to construct temples? Then Srila Prabhupada replied, I am not constructing a temple. I am establishing a teaching center. I am establishing a place where education of dharma shall be rendered. So temples are actually built and constructed to propagate the principles of Shastras and Vedas. In a Shastras and Vedas, construction of a temple is constructed, it is construed to be a wonderful, significant act. In Padma Puran, it is mentioned that somebody who helps and who donates for construction of temples, he is considered a great devotee. But what far more is of significance is to create devotees. If there is the biggest charity in the world, it is the charity of Vedas, charity of the knowledge of the Vedas, charity of the propagation of the name of the Lord. Today, I am overwhelmingly overjoyed that our Patni family and also numerous other hosts of our Bhagvat Katha, that by organizing such Bhagvat Katha, a great mercy and favor is bestowed upon the humankind. Because Srila Prabhupada also said that in this world, it is more important to create devotees, especially in this modern age of Kali, rather than to construct temples. So basically, in real sense, basically, you know, This also had been propagated, this thought had been propagated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who had appeared on this in this age to establish dharma and to propagate dharma. But if I ask you, how many temples were constructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then the answer is no. Now, this does not mean that temples need not be constructed or that construction of temple is wrong in any way. But by way of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I want to get across that he came to establish dharma, propagate dharma. He propagated, or that he went on to teach that one must chant the holy name of the Lord, accept the humankind, and that he developed and he dwelled more and more in creation of more and more of devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further said that if you have been born upon this holy land of Bharat, so first of all, make your own life and birth meaningful and try to offer and give in charity the knowledge of the Vedas, Shastras to others. And hence, my dear devotees, the significant act that you can give shape to is to create more and more devotees. If you really want to do a wonderful job, if you really want to establish a great task, it shall be to transform one person into a devotee. See, people are full of ignorance and are bewildered and are running helter and skelter. So, just in case, if you can give some Bhagavad Gyan, if you can help establish them a relationship with the Lord, that would be one of the biggest tasks that you can establish. And therefore, I once again extend my heartfelt greetings to Patni family and also all other numerous hosts that your acts of spreading the knowledge of the Dharma, you have made your life real meaningful. Each one of the individual in their own capacity, like by speaking the Bhagvat Katha, somebody does it by distribution of the Vedic books, while some perform the kirtan and distribute and propagate gyan, and by also hosting the katha, some people go on to create devotees and they go on to become subjects of the mercy and blessings of Srila Prabhupada. Why? Because this is what Srila Prabhupada said from Hawaii on 7th of August 1969, that in this age of Kali Yuga, what is more important is to create devotees rather than to construct temples. And you see, when we create devotees, or that when we get into propagation of Bhagvatam, in real sense of the term, this is our dharma. We should not unnecessarily be bloated with pride that we have gone on to establish a huge task. And therefore, I would look forward to connect the statement of Srila Prabhupada. I have made an attempt, I have made an humble attempt to relate it to the Shastras. So the statement comes from the Shastras. What is there before you on your screens?
आप किसी को गीता भागवत शास्त्र या कुछ हरि नाम या कुछ अच्छा काम करते हो तो
so it's like whenever you do something good like distributing Bhagvat Gita, etc., what ideally should be your mood? Your mood should be that whatever I am doing, whatever propagation or preaching that I am engaging myself in, this I should be certainly performing and committing. I'm not favoring I am not establishing a favor upon someone by doing this. Rather, it is my duty as per dharma. It is my responsibility as per dharma. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on to say that because you have taken birth as a human being, so it is your responsibility by propagating the holy name of the Lord. So whenever we commit such an act, we should have the feel and we should be under the mood that I should be certainly doing it. This is my natural karma. This is my nature. Instead of having a feel that we are doing it because the other person is very poor, because we are doing a favor upon them. So it's not for them, rather for ourselves that we commit and we give shape to such acts. So suppose take my example, if I am doing this katha for your deliverance, for your benefit, then perhaps I would be the wisest fool on the earth. So if Lal Govinda speaks something or utters something, it is only for himself. So it is like in order to purify your own self that you go on to do Bhagvat Prachar. So whenever we commit or perform any auspicious act, just like Patni family is doing by organizing, or that even you people engage in yourself by distributing books or kirtan, etc. So it is an auspicious act. So our mood should be that ideally it is needed for me to purify my own self. I have to keep in my mind and heart the orders and commands of my Gurudev. And hence it is said in the sloka that whatever charity that I engage myself in, this is my dharma. So once you have done charity, you should not keep it in your mind and heart. So you should not unnecessarily look forward to the fact that because you have done the charity, so you should be actually looked upon as something great. So you should actually engage yourself in such a charity with a selfless mode, without any selfishness engaged. And one must keep in mind the time, the place, and the individual while doing so. So you see, one must engage oneself in propagating the knowledge of Gita and Bhagavatam. So it should be done before juniors, not rather the senior Vaishnavas. You see, you should know you're just a beginner, a neophyte. What can you teach or what can you deliver to your guru in terms of knowledge? So this is what you must understand. It is possible that you might have greater agyan than your Gurudev, but then we must always keep in mind that if any of my statement might not reach the Guru of mine, so because of this, what would happen? I would be devoid of the mercy and blessings of the Guru. You see, these days there is so much of making groups on WhatsApp, Telegram, and all. And you see, then people add even the Guru, and then we start speaking and delivering. What status do we have that we can go on to, exhibit our knowledge before Guru? That's actually a very shallow an act. So charity must be done keeping in mind the place and the time and the individual or worthy person. So beneficence given to a worthy person according to the place and time is valuable. It is considered of an excellent category. Even the Gopikas went on to exclaim, in this world, propagating the Bhagavad Gita is considered the biggest beneficence. We are greatly fortunate today that the Patni family has organized this great Katha, and having benefited from this by way of the writings and teachings of Acharyas, we are we are making an humble attempt to understand Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad characters. So very beautiful and sweet context of Kevat is running in the Katha. Lord Ram is making a request before Kevat to row him on the other side of the river. Kevat is insistent that I know all secrets about you. The dust of a lotus feet can transform a rock into a woman. I shall die and cut to pieces by the arrows of Lakshman. But I vow on your father, King Dasarath, I may die, but I shall not allow you to sit in the boat of mine. So when Kivit is presenting his own set of arguments, listening at such words of Kivit, Lord Ram started bursting into laughter. Had you or me been there at the place of Lord Ram, we would have perhaps turned red with anger and agitation. But Goswami Tulsidas ji goes on to say, Suni kevat ke ben, prem lapete atpate. So, even though the words of Kevat were quite awkward and senseless, but still, listening to such words, Bese karna ain, means with tender heart, Lord Ram started bursting into laughter. So basically, a wise man never feels sad with such words.
दिल दे तो इस मिजाज का परवरदिगार दे। शब्द सुनिएगा, दिल दे तो इस मिजाज का परवरदिगार दे, जो रंग की भी घड़ियां खुशी से गुजार दे, जो रंग की भी घड़ियां, जो दुख की भी घड़ियां खुशी से गुजार दे, दिल दे तो इस मिजाज का परवरदिगार दे। दिल दे तो इस मिजाज का परवरदिगार दे, जो दुख की भी घड़ियां खुशी से गुजार दे। हे परवरदिगार, हे परमेश्वर, हे
Oh Lord, oh God, grant me such a heart that even if I come across challenges in the life, that even in those challenging, tough times, I should be able to spend times with happiness and smile on my face. Such should be the heart that you should grant me, O Lord. So yesterday we were talking about a man who reached a saint and who exclaimed that I am actually too much in trouble and challenge. Please help me free from the problems. So the saint said, stay away from Shan, which is pride, and you will be away from Pareshani. That is, Pare means away, from Sham, that is pride, false ego. So even Lord Ram would have said, how at all, Kevat can deny rowing us across the river on the boat? We, the prince of Ayodhya, the future king of Ayodhya. So Lord Ram never had such a false ego or false pride. So merciful Lord Ram started bursting into laughter with happiness. So let us move forward into the Katha. Bihase Karna and so let us go on to the next line. Now, Lord Ram started bursting into laughter.
तो पूरी रामायण में मानस में भगवान रामचंद्र 5 बार हंसे हैं। मन मुस्काई राम सिर नाये।
Lord Ram has laughed almost around 5 times in Ramayan. When he delivered Ahilyabai, and the fourth time Lord Ram smiled when Lord Parshuram picked up his axe in the Swayamvar of Sita Maya. That time also Lord Ram was smiling and laughing. All other kings were too much in trouble and problem and worried. And the fifth time, Lord Ram smiled and laughed when he would said his innocent words and denied his book, Lord Ram. And here, not just Lord Ram, but you see also Janaki Maya as well as Lakhanji. So it was not just Sri Ram, but also Janaki Maya and also Lakhanji who laughed and smiled in the context of Kevat, denying the boat. Why is Sita ji laughing and smiling? Is because for quite a long time, Janaki ji had observed that Lord Ram had almost forgotten how to smile and laugh. Smile and laughter had been suppressed. Just abandoned Ayodhya, the Ayodhya Vasis, and even Sumanti just a while back. There is some audio problem.
प्रसन्न होकर हंसने लगे हैं इस प्रकार से।
So Sita Maya was also laughing and smiling because she saw Lord Ram smiling and laughing. And as he was laughing and smiling, what is he doing? Let us get into the depths further. While smiling and laughing, Lord Ram is looking towards Lakshmanji and Sita Maya. Bihse karna in Chitai. Chitai here means looking at his eyes from the corners towards Sita Maya and Lakshmanji. You see? Now all the acharyas, all the commentators, they got into this explanation as to why Lord Ram, while himself laughing and smiling, started looking at Sita Maya and Lakshmanji from the corners of his eyes. So the first reason that why Lord Ram was smiling and laughing and also looking at Sita Maya and Lakshmanji with from the corners of his eyes. The first reason is, and you see, it is lovely, the reasoning and explanation, full of love and affection. So the acharyas have said, looking at Sita Maya from the corners of his eyes, perhaps he is looking at Sita Maya and indicating and hinting, "Oh Sita, do you recall when I had come to Janakpur, that when I came to your Janakpur, your father wanted to wash my feet, but did I allow your father, Janak Maharaj, to do that?" Sita Maya indicates that no, you did not allow. But because it was a wedding ceremony and the feet had to be washed of the groom, so with great reluctance, with strong reluctance, that I allowed your father to wash the toe of one of my foot of to your father. And in return for washing one toe of my foot, your father offered me to you. And look at this kevat, who without taking, who without giving anything would wash both my feet. Without offering me anything, he would wash my feet. And there your father gave you to me in return for washing one of my toe off my feet. This was the version of one of the acharyas. Another acharya, Ramayanji, said that Lord Ram smiled, looking at Lakshman from the corners of his eyes. Lord Ram is smiling with his own heart and is looking at Lakshmanji from the corners of his eye, as if he's saying to Lakshmanji that, "Oh Lakshman, do you remember when we were kids? You remember you when you would go to sleep, you very often had this habit of putting the toe of my feet in your mouth." So you see, in India, in the small bed of kids, let's say two children or two kids are placed. So one of the child would keep or take the toe of another child into his mouth. So you see, Lakshman says, "Lord Ram, oh Lakshman, you used to take one of the toe of my feet into your mouth, but you see this kevat who aspires to wash the complete feet of mine. You see, he is making such a daring act and perhaps appears to be more fortunate than you." Another acharya went on to say that Lord Ram, looking from the corners of his eyes towards Lakshmana, is smiling because perhaps Lord Ram is telling to Lakshman that, "Oh Lakshman, that this kevat wants to wash my feet. So I am laughing, and so should you, because he is your disciple. And you see, he is delivering sermons to me, and because he is a disciple, so you should be happy. Then why are you having a frowned face? You should rather be happy because ideally you are his guru. A guru should be happy when his disciple is delivering and preaching or doing a good act." And it is true that whenever a disciple, whenever an individual performs a good act and deed, his parents and guru actually gains and experience wonderful happiness. You see, the progress of an individual, the utmost happiness is observed and experienced by the guru and the parents. So Lakshman, you should be happy to look at your disciple doing a great job and performing wonderful sermon to us. Another Acharya went on to say, so another Acharya says that Lord Ram is laughing and smiling and looking at Sita Maya and the Lakshmanji at the corners of his eyes, as if Ramji is attempting to say that both of you love me immensely, but look at this keyword, that he is in deep love for me and he is ready to die, but he's ready to die at the arrow of Lakshman, but still he is all set to wash my feet. Have you both engaged yourself in such a complete surrender or challenged your life for me? No. So this keyword is perhaps placed much ahead of you. One more Acharya went on to say that why merciful, all merciful Sri Ram started smiling and laughing because Acharya says from the time Sita Maya Lakshmanji have arrived on the banks of Ganga, Lakshmanji had been in complete agitated mood and he had almost attempted to bring out an arrow and shoot arrow almost 20 to 25 times. So the Acharya, one of the Acharyas said that to calm down Lakshmanji or bring down the anger and agitation of Lakshmanji, Ramji started laughing and smiling. So you see, devotees, if there is a very serious environment and situation, and in that situation, if exalted person or a senior person passes on a smile or small light, the entire environment changes. So even you guys, even you devotees should also pass on smile in such serious environments to make the environment lighter and peaceful and cheerful. So Acharya said that is the reason Sri Ram started laughing and smiling. Another Acharya also said that Lord Sri Ram started smiling and laughing and looked towards Sita Maya and Lakshmanji as if he's indicating that both of you must laugh as well. Such a serious environment is getting built up, so you should also smile and laugh. One more Acharya went on to say that smiling because of Kevat, as if he's attempting to indicate to Sita Maya and Lakshmanji, look, we have huge followers and fan base, even in the forests. We had abandoned Ayodhya and the city, thinking that perhaps no one shall know us in the deep forest. But you see, such devotee and followers we have even in the deep forests who are ready to sacrifice their lives for us. Seventh reason has been put forward by one of the acharyas, something like this, that Lord Ram started smiling and laughing, looking at Lakshmanji and Sita Maya, because when Lord Ram was married to Sita Maya, so Sita Maya started serving Lord Ram. Before the marriage of Lord Ram to Sita Maya, every service to Lord Ram was being done by, offered by Lakshmanji. So now after the marriage, the services came to a halt for Lakshmanji. So when the halt of the services happened towards Lord Ram, because he was married now, Lakshmanji went sad and he started being a little restless and sad. So once Lord Ram summoned Lakshmanji and asked him the question, what makes him sad from quite a few number of days? As if Lord Ram is asking, oh Lakshman, do you have any problem? Why you remain so sad these days? So Lakshmanji replied that, oh brother, I have an issue. Lord Ram asked, what is the issue, Lakshman? To which Lakshmanji replied, oh brother, since the time you're married, I am devoid of all the services. So that's what makes me sad. So now, oh my brother, you give me solution that can help me. Now, Lord Ram says that, okay, Lakshman, I'll give you a solution, but you should not share it with anyone. So Lord Ram replied that Holi is about to come in some time from now. So on the day of Holi in the evening, Devar, that is brother-in-law, goes to his sister-in-law and demands something from the sister-in-law, and the sister-in-law, as per the principle, shall not deny on this occasion of Holi. So when your sister-in-law would ask you to ask something from her, so you can ask for such services from your sister-in-law. Then Lakshmanji said, "Oh brother, also grant me the boon that Holi should come sooner." Then Lord Ram said that, you see, Holi would appear on its own time. So Lakshmiji started chanting that Holi should appear sooner. So it was the festival of Holi. All the Ayodhya Vasis, all the Awadh played Holi with wonderful colors and joy. So when it was the evening on the day of Holi, and when the Shurji announced that you should all stop playing colors and now you should go to your sisters-in-law and ask whatever you want to ask. So first of all, Bharatji appears before Janki Maya, and Sita Maya says, "Oh Devarji, what do you wish from me?" So Bharatji replies, "Oh Maya, kindly grant me, kindly bless me with the blessing that I should always have love and affection towards the lotus feet of Lord Shri Ram." And Sita Maya said, "So be it." Shatrughanji asked that, "O Sita Maya, bless me with the blessings that I should always have love and affection towards the feet of Bharat Bhai." So when Sita Maya asked Lakshman, "What is your wish?" Lakshman said that, "Oh Maya, I want to whisper that in your ear." And Sita Maya said, "Okay, whatever you wish, say that in my ears." So Lakshman said, "Oh Sita Maya, from today, the service of both the lotus feet of Lord Shri Ram should be mine." The moment this utterance of Lakshmanji entered into the ears of Sita Maya, Sita Maya fell down unconscious immediately. Now King Dashrath was completely at dismay, in strong mood of anger, that what kind of offering have you asked Sita to make to you? Now Dashrath is yelling and shouting at Lakshmanji. Now there was a tense atmosphere. So Lakshmanji says, "Oh Lord Shri Ram, I want to take my wish back, but you make Sita Maya back to normalcy." Now Shri Ramji says that, "Lakshman, I cannot do anything. I cannot undo the situation of your wish." So Lakshmanji requests that, "Lord Ram, you should make the situation back to normal." So Lord Ram says, "Okay, go and whisper into the ears of Sita Maya that, oh Sita Maya, you shall serve the left lotus feet and right lotus feet I shall serve." So that is how Sita Maya came back to normalcy. But before Kevat, today, Lord Ram is recalling this context, this event of Holi, when Kevat asked to wash the lotus feet of the Lord, that one day or in the past, on the occasion of Holi, you were troubled and quarreling each other for 1 feet of mine, but you see, here you should only be a mute audience, and Kevat would go on to take the service of both the feet. Such is the character of Kevat. So that's the reason Lord Ram was laughing and smiling. We have talked about 8 reasons. Lord Ram started laughing and smiling. There's one more reason to it. Now, Lakshmanji actually had gone serious. Lakshmanji said, "Are your devotees just like Kevat only?" Ramji asks, "What, Lakshman, do you want to say?" Lakshmanji says that your devotees never listen to your word. Lord Ram says, how? Lakshmanji said that Kevat is not listening to you. Lord Ram said, who else? Even Sumantraji was not listening to you when you had asked him to return. All your devotees, Lord Shri Ram, are just like that, that whomsoever you send, he doesn't go, and whomsoever you call for, he doesn't come. You wanted to send Sumanji, he never wanted to go, and you want to call Kevatji, and he does not want to come. That means all your devotees are just like that, be it India, America, England, or Australia, or Nairobi. Now, to add the sarcasm or comment of Lakshmanji, Lord Shri Ram and Sita Maya started laughing and smiling. Now Lord Ram replies Lakshmanji on this. So, if I ask you this, especially the Patni family,
સવારમાં દુકાન ખોલી હોય અને ખોલતાની સાથે જ જો આપણું શુકન બગડે, આપણે ત્યાં બોની કે ના, हमारे मुंबईया भाषा में उसको बोनी कहते हैं, शुकन। दुकान सुबह सुबह दुकान खोलते ही शुकन बोनी बिगड़ जाती है तो दुकानदार क्या सोचता है? ओपनिंग में दुकान शुरू करते ही कुछ गड़बड़ हो गई, शुकन उस बोनी बिगड़ गई, तो दुकानदार क्या सोचता है? दुकानदार यही सोचता है ना कि सुबह सुबह मेरा शुकन बिगड़ गया, बोनी बिगड़ गई, अब पूरा दिन ही बिगड़ जाएगा, अब पूरा दिन बस ऐसा ही बिगड़ा हुआ।
Let's say when a shopkeeper gets on to have some bad event early in the morning, he has this opinion that perhaps the entire day shall go wrong. So Ramji asks Sita Maya, "Oh Sita, you tell me, who was actually asked to be banishing to the forest?" So the question has been raised by Lakshmanji that the devotees of Lord Ram never listens to him. So Sri Ram is actually answering to this question. So Lord Ram asks Sita Maya that I was ordered to be banished to forest and not to either of you. And actually I had denied to each of you not to be coming along with me. Sita Maya said, yes, you had said no to me. So Sita Maya said, so then Lord Ram says that Lakshmanji did not agree, neither Sita ji, you agreed. That means me getting myself exiled into the forest has started on a negative note that you did not listen, nor Lakshmanji listened. So it shall so happen that throughout my exile into the forest, nobody would ever listen to me, because in the beginning, actually it went on to be negative. My opening into the forest life was itself quite negative, that neither you nor Lakshman listen. So this is the explanation being given by Lord Ram to Sita Maya. Now you see, Lord Ram goes on to say that why at all neither you nor Sita Maya listen, neither you nor Lakshman listen to me. So it's like Lord Ram is posing a question to Lakshmanji and Sita Maya that why didn't you listen to me? So to this, Lakshmanji and Sita Maya replies that because we love you so much, and because we love you so much, that we actually refuse to listen to you. So Lord Ram goes on to say, exactly because of the same reason that out of the influence of love towards me, out of his affection towards me, he refuses to listen to me. He denies listening me. So this is love and affection which drives him to come in the denial mode to listen to me. Now, Lakshmiji says, but I don't see, I cannot locate even an iota of love and affection in him, O Lord Ram. Then Lord Ram replied in a very beautiful manner, O Lakhan, O Lakshman, Kevat, this, O Lakshman, this Kevat has the roots and the philosophy of love and not the exhibition. You see, if I look into my own life, you see, if you look into your own life, in our lives, there is less of darshan, that is, there is less of, you know, philosophy of love and affection, but we have too much of pradarshan, that is exhibition. So we exhibit more, but philosophically we have very much less of it. But Kevat does not have pradarshan, that is exhibition, but rather darshan, that is philosophy of love and affection. You see, we keep on posting on Facebook and WhatsApp, but do we really have it in us? So many a times, many people say that I love you from the core of our heart. We love you more than our life. You see, it is the mercy of the Lord that the life, actually does not go in a wrong mood or a bad mood. But if this life goes on to become annoyed to you, then everything would be gone. So the point that Lord Ram is trying to get across is that there's strong, emotion and sentiment of love and affection in Kevat's heart towards Lord Ram, and that it is such a case that he really is not of the mood of or does not believe in exhibiting that love and affection. So, having said so, Lord Ram looked at Sita Maya and Lakshmanji as if he's asking Sita Maya and Lakshmanji to offer him a solution as to what he should be doing upon the request of Kevat, who wants to wash the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, another Acharya went on to establish another reason of the smiling, behind the smiling and laughing of Lord Ram. So, smiling and laughing, Lord Ram, and looking at Sita Maya and Lakshmanji as if he is telling Sita Maya and Lakshmanji that earlier we had been thinking that perhaps we are quite intelligent and smart persons, but you see, even the subjects, the people of Ayodhya are also so smart, like that is Kevat. You see, in the last session, we had gone on to understand that Kevat had even brought the mention of Dashrathji in the conversation, and which had outraged Lakshmanji. But Shri Lord Ram, did not pay attention to the outwardly manifestation. Rather, Shri Ram had gone on to understand the deeper affection and sentiment which is there, which had been there in the heart of Kevatji, and as if Sri Ram is actually making an attempt towards Sita Maya and Lakshmanji to ensure that even Lakshmanji and Sita Maya should attempt to understand the heartly feeling, sentiment, and emotion of Kevatji rather than the outwardly manifestation. So if you look at this word Janaki in the second line, in the third last word in the second line, so Janaki actually here represents what? Looking at or considering the feelings of the heart. So by this term, Janaki, Lord Ram is attempting to place a request before Lakshmanji and Sita Maya that you should pay more attention, Janaki ji should pay more attention to the heart of Kevat. And if you break the term, break the word Lakhan, La plus Khan. La, Lak means to see, and Na means not, means not to see. So as if Lord Ram is indicating towards Lakshman that, oh Lakshman, you should not look at what is being exhibited outwardly, what is being manifested outwardly, rather you should look at his heart. So perhaps one Acharya is of the opinion that perhaps Lord Ram is attempting to make Lakshman and Sita Maya look at the sentiment and emotion of Kevat which he has within rather than the outwardly manifestation. Another Acharya went on to give one more reason for the laughing of, for smiling of Lord Sri Ram. So the Acharya said that Lord Ram started smiling and laughing because of Kevat, because perhaps this is an indication that Lord Ram had realized, Lord Ram has come to understand that strong love and affection has now come to stay and exhibit in the heart of Kevat towards Lord Shri Ram. So perhaps Lord Ram has understood that sentiment. So Acharya says that the kind of love and the sentiment which Lord Ram had today seen in Kevat was similar to the sentiment emotion exhibited by Sita Maya when Sita Maya had seen Lord Ram. So when Lord Ram had actually broken the bow at the court of the king Chanak, so when Lord Ram had broken that bow of Shiva, strong sound was produced. So in short, what happened, I'll share with you in short. So after having broken the bow of Lord Shiva, Sita Maya appears with the garland in her hand to Sri Ram, and Sita Maya had offered the garland to Sri Ram. So there is this principle of offering the pranam after having offered the garland. You see, that's what we do in Iskcon. After you make the other person wear the garland, after you have offered the garland, you offer your pranam. So Sita Maya offered the garland. Now she had to offer the pranam, but she did not do so. So because she did not offer pranam, that Lord Ram was happy. So Lord Ram actually had become very happy that Sita Maya had not offered the pranam, because it was a very different love and sentiment of Sita Maya, because of which she had not offered the pranam after having offered the garland to Lord Ram. And why Sita Maya did not offer the pranam? is exhibited before you on your screens in the form of the sloka.
प्रीति अलौकिक जानी प्रीति अलौकिक। सीता जी ने प्रणाम क्यों नहीं किया?
Why Sita ji did not offer pranam after having offered the garland to Lord Shri Ram? Sita ji saw that at the lotus feet of the Lord, that the lotus feet of the Lord has the power to transform the rock into a female who became the wife of Rishi Gautam. So Sita ji observed that if I would offer my pranam at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Ram, then what if I become the wife of a Rishi Muni? While what I look forward to is to become the wife and consort of Lord Shri Ram. So perhaps because of this apprehension, Sita Maya did not offer pranam to Lord Shri Ram. So when she did not touch the lotus feet of the Lord, so when she did not do so, Lord Ram actually started smiling because he could sense the wonderful love and affection of Sita Maya. So Lord Ram smiled and laughed because of extreme love and affection of Sita Maya, and here Lord Ram is laughing and smiling because of strong love and affection, immense love and affection of Kevat. So what I want to get across is that whenever Lord is able to locate the immense love and affection in a devotee, the Lord laughs and smiles. You see, we do have Laddu Gopals at our houses. So sometimes you see, sometimes we develop strong love and affection towards the Lord. So you might have noticed that even the Vigraha, Gopalji also smiles and laughs. You see?
गौरनिताय का विग्रह है बड़े बड़े और 6 फीट के प्रभुपाद हैं, 6 फीट के राधा गोविंद गोस्वामी महाराज। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कभी कभी मैं गुरु महाराज को प्रणाम करता हूँ तो मुझे डांटते हैं, मतलब ऐसा क्रोध करते हैं, ऐसा लगता है।
So you see, the deities at a house also exhibit emotions and sentiments, you see? And this is true. This is true. Our love, our service, our emotion, Lord would smile, would be happy, and sometimes Lord for sure would feel sad also. So you would see that if somebody has expired or left the mortal body in your extended family, you are sad. So you would also feel that the Lord or Gopalji at your house would also be sad. And I personally feel that Gopalji be in sad mood because there would be Sutak now in the family, in the house, and I would not be offered bhog. So what I'm trying to get across is that the deity, that the Lord becomes happy in the happiness of the devotee. The Lord becomes sad in the sadness of the devotee. So these were the 13 reasons. Now let us come to the 14 reasons why Lord Ram was laughing and smiling. So you see, if we go on like this, even a month time would fall short. We are only developing upon the major reasons. So one Acharya said, why at all Lord Ram smiled and laughed? Lord Ram smiled and laughed with the thought that I got to see so many devotees, but perhaps I have never come across such a strange devotee. So he's a strange one, yet full of love and affection, and that's the reason Lord Ram laughed and smiled. The 15th reason given by another Acharya, that when they were when they were coming for forest, and that Lord Ram says, I was refusing for Sita you and Lakshman you not to be coming along with me, but both of you were ready to lay your lives. But then you should never under be an impression that it is not that only you people can lay your lives for me, but even this Kevat is also ready to lay his life for me. The 15th reason, is laughing and smiling, looking at Lakshman and Sita Maya and attempting to make him recall, making Lakshmanji recall, making Sita ji recall that this is the same turtle, O Sita, that had you allowed him to touch my lotus feet in the cosmic ocean, had a situation of this sort would not have appeared. And O Lakshman, again, even you never allowed the same turtle to have darshans of my face. And you blew him upon this earth. And that's the reason this situation has arisen today. So Lord Ram is smiling and laughing, perhaps recalling that that is Kevat, who is not that educated or qualified, but he is able to yet recall. And see, he is making a situation against both of you today. One of the saints in Gujarat has said this.
राम लक्ष्मण जानकी ने तीर गंगा ने जाय राम लक्ष्मण जानकी ने तीर गंगा ने जाय नाव मांगी नीर तरवा गुह बोलो गम खाय पग मने धोवा द्यो रघुराय। इस प्रकार इस केवट ने कितना याद रखा।
So one of the saints from Saurashtra goes on to say that this Kevat, though not qualified, though not educated, but he still has all the scores in his heart and mind. So in this way, when Lord Shri Ram was too happy, and that because of happiness he was smiling and laughing, so he said, so Lord Ram went on to say, Kripa Sindhu bole musakai, soi karu jihi, tab nav na jaye. So Lord Ram spoke that, O Kevat, do as you wish. Whatever you want to do to save your boat, you're free to do. But here, Lord Ram is addressed as Kripa Sindhu. So one of the acharyas said that why is Lord addressed as Kripa Sindhu? Lord is called Kripa Sindhu because in this material world, whosoever are there, all the people in this world look and consider and take into account our external exhibited behavior. But Lord Shri Ram looks for the mood and sentiment and emotion of our heart, of our soul. You see, sometimes we push and compel people, and then we attempt to establish that the other person should understand my feeling and emotion and sentiment. Even in the couples, amongst the couples, this is always, a situation of quarrel, that one of the partner would always claim that he is not being understood in the real sense of the term of sentiment and emotion. So Lord Ram would always look at what? The emotion, sentiment, mood, and the heart of a devotee. So you see, Lord Ram had abandoned the kingdom. When Bharatji got to know, he declared that he would not become the king, and he would bring back Lord Ram. So you see, Bharatji went on to have with him all the Ayodhyavasis, and on the similar path treated by Lord Ram for Chitrakoot, the same path was taken by Bharatji along with Ayodhyavasis. So even Bharatji arrived at the river Ganga at this place. Now, when Bharatji arrived here, so Lord Bharatji did not need to sit in the boat and move. Mata Ganga herself divided herself and gave the path to Bharatji to go across the river on the other bank. So the question here arises that Ganga Maya offered the path to Bharatji, but here Gangaji had not given the path and passage to Lord Shri Ram. So when passage could have been granted to Bharatji, then what stopped Ganga Maya not to offer passage to Lord Shri Ram? So the reason is a principle. So the principle is there both in Gita and Ramayan. So let me present that principle from Ramayan before you.
मोरे मन प्रभु अस विश्वासा राम ते अधिक राम करदासा राम ते अधिक राम करदासा
मोरे मन प्रभु अस विश्वासा राम ते अधिक राम कर दासा. In this world, more than the Lord Himself, great greatness is of the devotee of the Lord. And this principle gets established here on the banks of river Ganga because Lord Ram is requesting to Kevat to cross the river, but Ganga ji did not offer anything by herself. But as Bharatji arrives, Ganga Maya offered the passage herself. That means higher is the greatness of the devotee of the Lord than the Lord Himself. So Ramayan is a live example before us that the devotees go on to become far more stronger and greater than the Lord. For example, that Hanumanji accomplished such feats which Lord Ram could not. So we will not talk about anything, but let me illustrate the example of Srila Prabhupada. The task not being established by the Lord Himself, such a task and a feat was accomplished by Srila Prabhupada. So not just the Lord, but even all the incarnation of the Lord put together, what they could not achieve together, Saint Srila Prabhupada established. So why do Lord appear on this in this world? so that all the people, all the creatures start getting attracted towards the Lord and start engaging into the devotional service of the Lord, but nobody felt attracted. Then Lord himself came in the form of Krishna, and then he gave the knowledge in the form of Gita. But even though Gita was there in every house, but there was no knowledge gained by people. So again, the same Lord in the mood of Radha came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he preached Prema Bhakti. But again, there was a limitation that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated it in India, that too in Bengal and that region. So the fate, uh, the fate which could not be accomplished by Lord, the incarnations of the Lord himself, but that fate was accomplished by the devotee of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada gone on to flourish and propagate the knowledge of Bhagvat Gita everywhere in the world. There is not a single place in the world today where Krishna consciousness has not taken roots. So, you see, Srila Prabhupada established a great task. Now, what we're required to do is to carry it and strengthen it further. And if there is any weakness, it is because of us, because Srila Prabhupada had been able to establish this great task. And what was the reason that Srila Prabhupada could do it? The reason is More Man Prabhu As Vishwasa Ram Te Atik Ram Kar Basa. Ram Kar Dasa. So here the term Dasa is very, very important. The devotees of the Lord can establish greater the tasks only so long as they consider themselves as the slave of the Lord, the servant of the Lord. So long as one consider himself as the servant of the Lord, we can go on to establish great tasks. But the moment we start feeling that we are the master, everything gets destroyed. And hence, in this manner, Lord Ram did not get the passage in River Ganga, but Bharatji got the passage. So, Kripa Sindhu Bole Muskai. So, all merciful Lord Ram said, Soi Karu means you should do the task, or you should do whatever you wish to do so that your boat does not become a woman. So Lord Ram indicated that whatever you wanted, which is the washing of the lotus, which is washing of the feet of mine, do it, but still Kevat remains a buzz. So Kevat still did not relent because Kevat was completely rigid on the stand that he would wash the lotus feet only when Lord would himself say that, "Oh Kevat, you come and wash my feet." Now imagine, can there be a situation that Lord would ever say that you should come and wash my feet? No gentle person, no humble person, no wise person would ever go on to say that, okay, you come and wash my feet. But because Kevat was quite rigid that he wanted to listen to such utterances of the Lord, so ultimately Lord Ram had to relent and say and declare to Kevat, "Oh Kevat, okay, you go get the water and wash my feet." So Lord Ram said, "Kevat, please hurry up. Go and get water, bring water to wash my feet, and do not delay further." So Lord Ram said, "Okay, but I don't want to get delayed further. You please go bring water and wash my feet." So why the reasons? What is the reason behind Lord Ram insisting that he does not want to delay? So this is just the morning time when the sun has arisen, and very soon what would happen? The sun would become stronger. The rays of the sun would become stronger. There would be heat. So what would happen in such a situation? When the sun is stronger, Sita ji would be in trouble. You see, Sita Maya had only put her feet on two things, on the carpet and also on the heart and chest of Dashrath ji. So Sita Maya would be in trouble because of the strong sun, because she does not have the habit of walking barefoot on the road, on the land. So, okay, would please go and get water quickly and wash the feet. The second reason is perhaps Lord Ram, who had gone, who had denied Sumanji to stay back, and he has forced Sumanji to return to Ayodhya. So, what if somebody comes with the news that Sumanji had fallen unconscious, and that because of this we might have to go back and take care of Sumantuji, and this would create an obstruction on our travel into the forest. And thirdly, the reason that Lord Ram does not want to delay is, what if Sumanji himself comes back again to place the request to come back to Ayodhya? And the fifth reason is perhaps that this Lal Govind, has been doing the katha for 5 days, and he is not yet ensuring that the lotus feet of the Lord are washed. So you should go fast, bring water, and wash the feet. So Goswami Tulsidas ji presents very beautiful a principle. He says, Jasu Nam. So Goswami Tulsidas ji goes on to say, very beautifully, Goswami Tulsidas ji says, so Goswami Tulsidas ji says, Jasu Nam Sumirat ek bara, utar rahi narbhav sindhu apara. Jasu Nam means whose name. Sumirat ek bara means remembering or chanting even once. Utarhi narbhav sindhu apara. So the name of the Lord being remembered and chanted even once by a person. So even with this one chanting, the person can cross the cosmic ocean. The same Lord who delivers us across the cosmic oceans, the same Lord is placing the request before Kevat to help him get across the river. This is nothing but the loving pastime of the Lord towards his devotee. So the chanting of the name of the Lord can help us deliver ourselves across the cosmic oceans, across any challenges. The same Lord himself is placing a request to Kevat to help him cross the river. This is nothing but reflection of the loving pastimes, the pastimes filled with love and affection of the Lord towards his devotees. So you see, until and unless we get into the chanting of the holy name, we will be devoid of the mercy and blessings of the Lord. So I know that each one of you very committedly listen to the katha. So I shall place a request before each one of you that with the same love, emotion, and sentiment, you should engage yourself in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So it's not that the chanting of the holy name in itself is great, but even so not just chanting of the holy name of the Lord, but also the one who had measured all the entire eternal universe with his 3 steps. So the dwarf incarnation, the dwarf boy, in the dwarf form, he had measured the eternal universe. The same Lord is placing a request before Kevut to cross such a small river. Imagine how merciful the Lord is. The same kind Lord who had gone on to help King Bali, who had given liberation to Bali by placing his feet on the forehead of Maharaj Bali. And the same Lord is placing the request before Kevut to cross the river, to make him cross the river. So in both the contexts, the glorification of feet is being put across.
सोनी प्रभु बचन मोहिमति करशे। भगवान के पग नख, भगवान राम जी के चरणों के पग
So
के
the nails of the lotus feet of the Lord, looking at the nails of the lotus feet of the Lord, became joyful. So Ganga went joyous looking at the nails of the lotus feet of the Lord. And why should not that happen? Now there are two reasons for this. Ma Ganga was undergoing immense joy and happiness because since times immemorial, river Ganga, Maya Ganga, had been flowing away from the lotus feet of the Lord. So Ganga is traveling away since times immemorial. So Ganga has been flowing since times immemorial away from the lotus feet of the Lord. So this separation, which is there since times immemorial, is getting diluted, is getting done away with today. And that happens when Ganga Maya have the darshanams of the nails of the lotus feet of the Lord. Another reason why Ganga became so joyous of looking at the nails of the lotus feet of the Lord, because Ganga Maya would have felt that this is my birthplace. So each one of us have been born at a particular place, isn't it? So similarly, Ganga ji owes her origin to the lotus feet of the Lord. So whenever we visit the place of our birth, whenever you see the birthplace of ours, so today Ganga Maya is overjoyous and overwhelmingly happy because she is able to see the lotus feet of the Lord, which is her place of origin. So looking at the nails of the lotus feet of the Lord, she becomes overwhelmingly happy because her place of birth has appeared itself before her. So usually people like you and me will have to walk to or reach the place of our birth. But the birthplace, the place of birth of Ganga Maya has presented itself before her. That's the reason of happiness of River Ganga. You see how overwhelmingly happy we become when we get to see people who belong to the same place where we had taken birth. So, a very important thing that what we need to understand is so Suni Prabhu Bachan Moho Mati ka Rishi. So when Lord Ram had been placing request to Kevat to help him go across the river, so listening to the utterances of Lord Ram, the placing of request of Lord Ram to Kevat, Ganga Maya developed love and affection towards Lord Ram. The same love and affection developed in Brahmaji, Lord Shiva, Kak Bhushandi. So it is quite but natural and nothing strange that even Ganga Maya developed love and affection. But Ganga Maya was able to place control over her love and affection because of her intellect. So Ganga Maya was able to control the love and affection because of her intellect. So you and me should also learn that whenever we get into love and affection by way of our intellect, by way of our intelligence, we must eliminate that attachment, because attachment is placed in the mind and intellect is the master of mind. So Lord has taught that with the help of our intellect and intelligence, we must exercise control. So Goswami Tulsidas ji goes on to say further, Kevat Ram Rajaya Supava. So Pani Katvata Bhari Dei Av. So as soon as Kevat got the orders and commands of Lord Shri Ram, I personally feel that perhaps Lord Ram had placed this kind of request for the first time ever in Ramayan. Pani Katvata Bhari Layaba. So this way Kevat went to his house and brought kathota full of water. So you see, you need to understand kathota here. Kathota is the wooden glass. Those who hail from village would certainly understand. So you see, kathota has strong significance. So Kevat Ram Rajayasu Pava. So Kevat got the orders of Lord Shri Ram, and with these orders he brought the kathota filled with water. So what is this kathota? Try to understand this. When a boatman, we're talking about the Treta age, the age of Treta, when a boatman rows the boat, whatever may be the quality of your boat, water does enter or flows over the boat. So you need to throw that water out. So to throw the water which has entered the boat from sideways, a beaker or a vessel is needed to throw that water away, and that beaker is made of wood to throw that water out. So this vessel, this beaker is made of wood and not of metal, so that it does not get sunk in water when the boat is sinking. So Kevat went running to his house and brought that wooden beaker. So now Acharyas have gone on to explain why at all Kevat brought the wooden beaker. See, when any saint or sadhu comes to our houses, we attempt to wash the lotus feet by vessels or beakers of gold and silver. So ideally, when Kevat has been given the command to wash the lotus feet of the Lord, so ideally he should have a separate good beaker and not that wooden beaker. So 5 reasons have been put forward. So Kevat went to his house and asked his wife and told that Lord has given me the command to wash the lotus feet. Give me the beaker. So upon this statement of Kevat, the wife of Kevat brought a beaker of bronze or copper. Kevat denied that I won't take this beaker of copper because Lord Ram is in saintly. So Lord is in saintly robes. He has taken a saintly vow, and therefore Lord would not agree to his lotus feet being washed with the help of this copper beaker. So we must enact the vow of Lord Shri Ram that he will lead a simple forest life, a meditative life. So the Kevat used a wooden beaker to wash the lotus feet of the Lord. The second reason why Kevat used the wooden beaker to wash the lotus feet of the Lord, Kevat, as he is very intelligent. He's a devotee of the Lord, and see, the devotees of the Lord are very intelligent. So Kevat might have thought that first I will make the wooden beaker touch the lotus feet of the Lord. So if anything happens, or if there is transformation into a woman, so it would only be the wooden beaker which will become a female and not my boat. And thirdly, the Kevat thought that the wooden beaker is small in size, so if it becomes a female, it would be a small young daughter and not the wife. And I look forward for a daughter. And that's the reason Kevat went on to bring the wooden beaker towards the lotus feet of the Lord. The third reason as to why Kevat brought the wooden beaker to wash the lotus feet of the Lord, as if he is wanting to make the people of the world understand, people of material world to understand that in order to attain the service of washing the lotus feet of the Lord, there is no eligibility of having in possession the beakers of gold and silver. What you only need to have the mercy of the Lord is to have the qualification to be the devotee and the servant of the Lord. So what is needed is qualifications to be the servant of the Lord and to be able to wash the lotus feet of the Lord, to cleanse the lotus feet of the Lord. Another Acharya goes on to give another reasoning why Kevat brought the wooden beaker. So Kevat basically might have presumed, or Kevat might be attempting to establish that I am not Kritagna, and rather I am Kritagya. So Kevat is attempting perhaps to establish that if Lord Ram comes on board on my boat, so basically our boat would have the mercy and blessings of the Lord. So if it would be the boat which would get the mercy and blessings of the Lord, then it would be injustice to the wooden beaker, because it is the wooden beaker which comes handy when the boat is sinking. So both the boat and the beaker must get the mercy and blessings of the Lord, and hence Kevat went on to bring the wooden beaker. The fifth reason explained by some of the Acharya, and this is a very beautiful explanation given by one of the Acharyas. So why wooden beaker was brought by Kevat? So the reasoning that is given is that after washing the lotus feet of the Lord, he would offer the water, you know, to everyone, to his family members, and also to the people of the village, and he will also have the Charnamrit. So what would happen if the Charnamrit ends up getting exhausted? So you see, if the beaker would be of wooden, made of wood, then this wooden beaker would always have the possibility of soaking the water, because while distributing the Charnamrit, so if the Charnamrit get exhausted, some water would be soaked by the wood. So if there would be lesser Charnamrit left, more and more water can be added into the wooden beaker. So that ways all throughout our lives we would be able to have Charnamrit, and also that this wooden beaker can be used by the wife of Kivut to prepare food, meals, and prasadam and chapatis, and hence he brought the wooden beaker. So now Kivut has arrived with the wooden beaker, and he has begun washing and cleansing the lotus feet of the Lord. Goswami Tulsidas ji goes on to write, Ati Anand Umang Anuraga, Ati Anand Umang Anuraga, Charan Saroj Pakharan Laga, Charan Saroj Pakharan Laga, Ati Anand Umang Anuraga, Charan Saroj Pakharan Laga. With great joy, with great love and affection, Kevat started cleansing the lotus feet of the Lord. So as he is cleansing the lotus feet of the Lord, less water is getting supplied from the wooden beaker, rather more water is pouring out, falling out from the tears of Kevat. So Kevat is undergoing the emotion and sentiment, the lotus feet of the Lord, which does not even appear in the hearts and dreams of many a great yogis. I am getting the fortune, privilege to watch such lotus feet of the Lord. So washing the lotus feet of the Lord, this opportunity, great fortunate opportunity, only befell to two people in Ramayan, Kevatji and Janakji. But the joy and happiness being enjoyed, Kevat, was too different and huge when compared to that of Dasarathji, and that's the reason Ramayan cards authors have gone on to declare that Janakji went on to wash the lotus feet of the Lord on the basis of right, but it was the fortune, it was the luck, it was the wonderful blessed luck that Kevat went on to wash the lotus feet of the Lord. So Kevat is washing the lotus feet of the Lord with huge sentiment and emotion and love and affection. So at that time, Lakshmanji comes nearer to Kevat and says, "Oh Kevat, you're overwhelmed and overjoyed with love and emotion?" Then Kevat says that, "No, Lakshmanji, I am not washing and cleansing the lotus feet of the Lord by emotion and sentiment. I am only washing it for the sake of my boat." The principle that you must understand is Kevat did have love, affection, and emotion, but he never wanted to exhibit the love, emotion, and sentiment. So he only wanted to say that I'm doing it for the sake of my boat. This last term, laga means completely into it. So he went on to cleanse the feet of the Lord for a long duration. Acharyas have gone on to say that he never just washed and set himself aside, rather he continuously, incessantly went on to wash the lotus feet of the Lord on and on. So Kevat went on to cleanse one feet of the Lord, and then he had put the lotus feet of the Lord into his hand. So it's like a situation that Lord is getting imbalanced. Now he took the lotus feet of the Lord and again started washing. Now Lord Ram was getting so unbalanced, and Lakshman Ji again came into agitated mode that Bhaiya Ram is getting out of balance. At least wash the lotus feet properly. So Kevat said, "Oh Lakshman Bhaiya, I have to be very particular to wash the lotus feet. See, it's a question of my boat. So I have to examine the feet and wash it properly. And if your brother is going out of balance, why doesn't he catch hold of my head?" So immediately around same time, Lord Ram placed both his hands
यही सम पुण्य पुंज कहु नाही
uh,
आकाश से
of Kevat. Immediately around the same time, there was the sound from the skies that Kevat is a blessed soul.
तब केवट क्या कहता है, एक आचार्य बहुत सुंदर लिखते हैं, रेखन में जड़े कण केते देख देख धोऊं आप एक पगते खड़े याते न खीजिए। बोले प्रभु की चरणों की रेखा में बहुत मिट्टी लगी हुई है, चरणों में मिट्टी, रेखा में मिट्टी होती है ना, रेखन में जड़े कण केते देख देख धोऊं आप एक पगते खड़े याते न खीजिए। चाहो अवलंब तो विनीत जो विलंब बिनु नाथ मोरे माथ पे सो हाथ धर लीजिए। ये नाथ मेरे माथे पर अपना हाथ धर लीजिए, आप गिरोगे नहीं। भगवान झुक गए और भगवान झुक कर
So Kevat says, "Oh Lord, place your hands on my head, you won't fall down." So Lord went on to bend. Imagine Kevat went on to make Lord bend himself before a devotee. So what happens on the earth is trembling of the earth, but what is happening today is trembling of the heavens, and there was rains of flowers coming from heavens. Varashi suman sur sakal sihahi ehi sam punya punj koi nahi. All the devtas appear in the skies. Devo ke Dev, the biggest Vaishnava, Lord Shiva, who carries Ganga on his head, and in that Ganga, around that Ganga, the saintly bees keep on
जनक जी ने भी चरण धोए थे लेकिन देवताओं ने फूल नहीं बरसाए।
So even Janak had washed the lotus feet of the Lord, but there was no rain of flowers by the devtas. There was no rains of flowers, but Kevat is washing the lotus feet of the Lord, and the flowers are being rained by the devtas. Some of the demigods are full of jealousy. So jealousy does develop in some of the demigods. So the thing that I want to get across, the message that I want to get across is, some devotees watched the lotus feet of the Lord but was not able to attain the hands. Some washed the hands of the Lord but could not attain the lotus feet. But greatly fortune is Kevat that he washed the lotus feet but not just the lotus feet, but he was also able to have the fortune of having attained both the hands of the Lord. So Lord Ram says, okay, Kevat, now when you're done with the washing of the feet, so let us now move into the boat. So Goswami Tulsidas ji goes on to say, what is there on your screens?
मुदित गयऊं लई पार मुदित गयऊं लई पार पद पखारी जल पान करी केवट ने भगवान के चरण पखारे और चरण पखारने के बाद जलुपान करी केवट ने प्रभु के चरण के जल का पान किया और
So Kevat went on to wash the lotus feet of the Lord, and that he drank that Charanamrit, the water with which he had washed the lotus feet of the Lord, and he was not selfish only to drink the entire Charanamrit by his own self. Rather, he distributed it as a prasadam to all the members of the village. And imagine everyone is lined up in the village to have the Charanamrit of Lord Shri, but Lakshman ji and Sita ji were standing aside. Sita ji also joined the queue, and Sita ji perhaps is indicating to Lakshman ji that, oh Lakshman, you should not stay aside, come and join the queue. So even Lakshman ji and Sita Maya went on to join the queue. Now Lord Ram says, okay, but now let us be seated in your boat. So Kevat says that, oh Shri Ram, Lord said, now when you have washed my lotus, my feet, now you should allow me to, place myself, enter your boat, and sit with Lakan and Sita Maya on your boat. So Kevat says, oh Lord, so Kevat says that there is a rule that whosoever is there in the queue first gets to come on board on the boat. Now Ramji says that who is there before us? Kevat said, so the rule of the ghat is that whosoever is there in the queue first shall go across the river on the boat. So Kevat said, my ancestors are there before you. So they would be crossing the river first. So Lord Ram asked, how would your ancestors get liberation? So Kevat ji said that in order to give liberation to the ancestor of Bhagirath ji, Ganga ji had appeared from the lotus feet of the Lord. But to give liberation to my ancestors, Ganga ji had appeared from this wooden beaker. So I would first offer the Charanamrit to Ganga Maya, and then my ancestors would be liberated. So Kevat said that you both went to Vasishthaji's ashram and you had learned the mantras. So Ramji said, yes, we know the Vedic mantras. Now Lakshmanji would getting agitated that what is our education has to do with him. So Kevatji said that, oh Lord Ram, both of you brothers should recite and speak aloud some of the mantras when I would offer the water of my ancestors to Ganga Maya. Now, Lord Ram indicated to Lakshman, oh Lakshman, let's start reciting the mantras, because until we do that, Kevat will not get us across the river. So you see, Kevat is ensuring liberation to his ancestors, and Lord Ram and Lakshman is reciting the mantras. So Kevat has given us a learning that those who are engaged in chanting bhajans must set a food for liberating their ancestors. So this is sure that the forefathers and sisters of the Patni family have already got liberation, because of which this katha has been organized. But the month of Shraddh Paksh is about to come soon, so we must do that. So this term Shraddh basically comes from Shraddha, affection. So I'll share a short story with you that a person died. So he had two sons and the wife. The wife of this man asked both the sons that your father has gone now, now you should do something. But both the children were completely atheist, and they said, what is the use? What is the fun in doing all this? We don't believe in all this. So the mother said, your father believed in all this, but children did not relent. So the mother asked, you do one thing. You go on to, you offer the remains of your father, mortal remains of your father in river Ganga. So the son now took bicycle on the route of 16 kilometers. So as he crossed 12 kilometers, he felt tired. So he was agitated. And there was no affection. So what he did, he threw the mortal remains of his father in the drain with the thought that this drain would ultimately join Ganga. So that night, the husband appears in the dream of a wife and said, whom did you send that my mortal remains did not even reach Ganga? The wife asked, then where has it been thrown? The husband replied that they have thrown it into a drain. The next morning, the wife, the mother asked the son, why have you thrown the mortal remains into the drain? The son had no guilt and said that father was mad, not just in life, but even after life. So when he could come in the dream, for 12 kilometers, why couldn't he have moved further 4 more kilometers to reach River Ganga? Unfortunately, the meaning, the situation, the status, and the position of the relations are not like before. There's a great question mark, strong question mark, that you would get tarpan also. So just look at the greatness, devotion, and commitment of this Kevat. Even before he crosses River Ganga, he's ensuring liberation of his ancestors. Now Kevat takes Lord Ram, Lakshman, and Sita Maya on board his boat, and now he's rowing the boat. Very slowly and slowly. Lakshmanji is getting strongly agitated. Is that the speed with which a boat is rowed? Everyone is in silence, pin drop silence. Now Kevat says, oh Lord, should I say something? Lord Ram says, yes, speak up. Then Kevat says, oh Lord, I sing very nicely. If you allow, should I sing something for you? See, you might have felt in some auto or something that some auto drivers do love, playing the songs. So Kevat is placing a request before Ram that should he be singing a song for you. So before Lord Ram could speak, Lakshmanji said that from the time you have met, you have been singing and singing, not allowing us to speak. So you also sing? So Kevat indicated to Nishad ji that you said the tabla, and Nishad started setting the tabla, the drum. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे चलो। मेरी नैया में गंगा मैया है, मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे चलो। मेरी नैया में मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। मेरी नैया में गाइए गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। कौन की है नैया, कौन की है गंगा, कौन की है नैया, कौन की है नैया, कौन की है गंगा, मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। केवट की नैया भगीरथ की गंगा, केवट की नैया भगीरथ की गंगा, केवट की नैया भगीरथ की गंगा, राजा दशरथ के लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। राजा दशरथ के लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। राजा दशरथ के लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। राजा दशरथ के गंगा मैया मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा धीरे बहो। केवट नौका चला रहा है और नौका चलाते हुए
Kevat is rowing the boat, and as he is rowing the boat, he utters towards Lord Ram, "Oh Lord, why don't you do one thing? Are you enjoying being in the boat?" Lord indicated yes, that he was enjoying. So Kevat said, "Then why don't you stay in for 10-15 days?" Now before Lord Ram could say anything, Lakshmanji was like, "That what talk about 10 days? Staying in a boat for 10 seconds is impossible. Why do you speak so much?" Kevat said, "Oh Lakshmanji, why are you getting so annoyed? That I will draw you for 10 days. I won't charge you anything." Lakshmani said, "Don't you talk about any charge now. You have got your ancestors liberated from us, and you're talking about the fact that you won't charge us for ferrying us across."
मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
कहा करे नैया, कहा करे गंगा,
कहा करे नैया, कहा करे गंगा।
कहा करे नैया, कहा करे गंगा, नैया कहा करे, कहा कहा करे लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। कहा करे लक्ष्मण
राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। मेरी नैया में
लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
पाप हरे गंगा पार करे नैया, पाप हरे गंगा पार करे नैया, पाप हरे गंगा पार करे नैया, गंगा पार करे नैया। हो आए भक्त हित लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। आए भक्त हित लक्ष्मण राम,
गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
आए भक्त हित लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
आए भक्त हित लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
अब केवट नौका चला रहा था, तो नौका ऐसे और गीत गा रहा था, गीत गाते गाते भाव में आ गया।
So Kevat is rowing the boat and also singing, and he came into the strong mood, overjoyed with mood, and the boat started trembling. Now, Lord Ram said, "Oh Kevat, kindly row the boat properly. It is getting unbalanced. It is going out of balance, and I'm getting so fearful." Kevat said, "Oh Lord Ram, why don't you catch hold of my hand? Hold my hand." So Ramji said that because I am fearful, you should hold my hand. Why should I be holding your hand? So Kevat said, "Oh Lord, there is no guarantee that the individual might leave the hand. But if you catch hold of my hand, there is full guarantee that you will never leave me. So please catch hold of my hand."
कौन की है नैया, कौन की है गंगा,
कौन की है नैया, कौन की है गंगा।
मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। मेरी नैया में
लक्ष्मण राम,
हो।
गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
अब क्या हुआ, केवट
Now what happens? Kevat is rowing the boat, and he's rowing the boat. And as he reached the bank, Lakshmanji exclaimed that, "Okay, finally now we have reached the bank." But Kevat took a U-turn immediately and started going round and round at a place near the bank. Now Lakshmanji, who is completely outraged, tells Lord Ram that, "Oh Lord, tell this Kevat that we are not actually on a sightseeing, we are rather going on forest, and he must stop immediately at once." Ramji tells to Kevat that, "Oh Kevat, please don't go round and round. We are almost about to get into giddiness." Kevatji says, "Oh Lord Ram, this is exactly the point that I want to get across, that only because I took the boat into round for 2-3 times and you started feeling uncomfortable and giddiness. But we individuals, we people, have to undergo so many circles, 84 lakh bodies. So what pain do we undergo? This is the fact that I wanted to prove before you, my Lord.
आप सब लोग चलाइए, सब लोग मेरे साथ। पाप हरे गंगा पार करे नैया, आ केयूर भाई ने सारू चलावता आवड़े छे। हाँ बरोबर बरोबर, बहुत अच्छे से। हाँ हाँ। पाप हरे गंगा पार करे नैया, आये भक्त हित लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। आए भक्त हित
लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो।
मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। मेरी नैया में मेरी नैया में लक्ष्मण राम, गंगा मैया धीरे बहो। हलो हलो, जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी, राजे राधा, जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी, जहाँ विराजे अलबेली सरकार कन्हैया ले कन्हैया ले चल परली पार। गुण अवगुण सब तेरे अर्पण, चरणों की दासी,
तेरे चरणों की दासी।
तू मेरा प्राण या चल परली पार, कन्हैया ले चल परली पार। आनंद घन यहाँ बरस रहा है, आनंद आ रहा है। पत्ता पत्ता हर्ष रहा है,
पत्ता पत्ता हर्ष रहा है,
हरि बेचारा तरस रहा है,
हरि बेचारा तरस रहा है।
मेरे मल्ला मेरे माझी,
मेरे मल्ला मेरे माझी,
मेरे मल्ला मेरे माझी,
मेरे मल्ला मेरे माझी,
अरे कर दो बेड़ा पार कन्हैया, ले चल परली पार,
कन्हैया ले चल परली पार,
कन्हैया ले चल परली पार,
कन्हैया ले चल परली पार।
जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी,
जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी,
जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी, अरे अलबेली सरकार कन्हैया, ले चल परली पार, कन्हैया ले चल परली पार, अपना आप लुटा बैठी हूँ,
अपना उल्टा बैठी हूँ,
आंखें खूब पका बैठी हूँ,
आँखें खूब पका बैठी हूँ,
आंखें खूब पका बैठी हूँ,
आँखें खूब पका बैठी हूँ।
मेरे प्रीतम मेरे माझी,
मेरे प्रीतम मेरे माझी,
मेरे प्रीतम मेरे प्रीतम मेरे माझी,
मेरे प्रीतम मेरे माझी,
अरे कर दो बेड़ा पार कन्हैया, ले चल परली पार,
कन्हैया
ले चल परली पार, कन्हैया ले चल परली
परली पार,
पार,
कन्हैया ले चल परली पार।
जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी,
जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी,
जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी,
जहाँ विराजे राधा रानी,
अलबेली सरकार कन्हैया, ले चल परली पार,
कन्हैया ले चल परली
कन्हैया ले चल परली
पार,
पार,
कन्हैया ले चल परली पार।
आषाढ़ उचारम मेघमलारम बनी बहारम जलधारम, आषाढ़ उचारम बनी बहारम जनी रम जलधारम, एता दूर डकारम मयूर पुकारम, तड़िया तारम विस्तारम, ना नहीं संभारम प्यास्य पारम, नंद कुमारम निरख्यारी, एक हो राधे प्यारी राधे प्यारी राधे प्यारी, मैं बलिहारी गोकुड़िया वो गिरधारी रे जी जी गोकुड़िया वो गिरधारी, ब्रिज की सब बाला रूप रसालन करी बेहाला नंद लाला, ब्रिज की सब बाला रूप रसालन करी दिन दयाला नंदलाल, आए नहीं आला कृष्ण कृपाला, बंसी वाला ने बनवारी। कर सर पर सधरि अमर करय अनुसार कर पर वार धर महल करे। हरिहर सूर्यवर यपर यतियन कर, नटवर मनहर भैर बने। मनहर मटक लटक ताट निकट मुकट शिर सवरन में। गण रण पट फरड़ फरड़ पद भूंगर, रंग भर सुंदर श्याम रमेरे जी रंग भर सुंदर। श्याम रमेरे जी रंग भर सुंदर। श्याम रमे हलो हलो दमक दमक दाहदुर दाव डमकत बहकत मोर मलाल गिरा। ताऊ दमक दमक दाहदुर दाव डमकत बहकत मोर मलाल गिरा। ताऊ पियु पियु शब्द पुकारत चातक, पियु पियु कोकिल कंठ गिरा। ताऊ गड़ड़ गड़ड़ नभ होत कड़ाका, गणन गणन गिरिवर शिखर ध्रुजे। घण रण पट फरड़ फरड़ पद भूंगर, रंग भर सुंदर श्याम रमेरे जी रंग भर। सीताराम तुम्हारी जय जय हो, जय हो। सीताराम तुम्हारी जय जय हो। अवधेश तुम्हारी जय जय हो। अवधेश तुम्हारी जय जय हो। राजा राम तुम्हारी जय जय हो। राजा राम तुम्हारी जय जय हो। अवधेश तुम्हारी जय जय हो। अवधेश तुम्हारी जय जय हो। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभु जय श्री प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभु निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि युग धर्म हरि नाम संकीर्तन की। श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की। तो इस प्रकार केवट
And
भगवान
hence, in this manner, Kevat is rowing the boat. Kevat says, "Oh Lord, are you enjoying or not?"
केवट कहता है प्रभु आपको मजा आ रहा है कि नहीं?
Kevat asks the question to Lord Sri Ram, that are you enjoying the
5 साल मेरी
boating?
में रुक जाओ ना. 4-5
Lord says yes, that he was enjoying. Then Kevat says, "Oh Lord, why don't you stay in my boat for 4-5 years?"
प्रभु ने कहा नहीं नहीं केवट
Now, Lakshmanji is getting agitated.
केवट कहता है एक काम करो प्रभु ज्यादा नहीं
Lord
20
Ram
साल
says
मेरी नाव में बैठे रहो.
that, "Oh Kevat, I need to get across the river quite soon. Please do that."
5 दिन तक राह दिखाई.
Kevat says, "Okay,
और अब जब भगवान नौका में
at least be in the
24
boat
घंटा हम
for
कहते हैं
24
24
hours."
घंटा केवट नौका में घुमाता रहे.
So,
24 मिनट ही घुमाया था लेकिन
you see, let us offer Kevat the chance to row the boat where Lord Ram, Sita Mai, Lakshmanji is sitting for 24 hours. And till that time, I extend my greetings to each one of you, and special thanks to Tamji, Bhaiji, and entire Patni family, and the organizers of the Katha, Naveen Bhai, Ramesh Bhai, Murli Ben, Arvind Bhai, Indira Ben, Shubha Ben, Prabhudas, Prabhu. I extend my heartfelt greetings and thanks to each one of you, that because of your efforts, we got the opportunity to watch the lotus feet of the Lord and make him sit in the boat and cross the river Ganga. So with this, we shall close for the 5th day Katha. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.